Welcome this morning to the Sylvan Hills 49ers coach trip for 2010. I'm sorry I can't be with you, but I thought I would give you a few parting words. I've been with this group a long time. We've made many trips together, 8 or 9, I think, and it's just been a really exciting thing. And we lay down some rules and regulations, and these just must be followed. And if they're not followed, we put you off at the next town, and you get to walk back home. In fact, we put you off the furthest town away from our hometown. So be careful and really follow these rules. Some of the rules are like we don't want any gossiping. No gossiping on the bus. There are 54 of us, and we just want to get along and be truthful and kind to everybody and have a good time. So no gossiping or spreading rumors. But if you must gossip and spread some rumors, please phone me and clear them first. I'd like to know what's going on and be a part of it, I guess. But, you know, gossip can get pretty juicy and pretty good sometimes. No smoking, that's another rule. I don't think we have any smokers. No dipping either, no dipping snuff. If so, please clean up your own mess around your chair where you are. No spitting in the bus. Please keep that in mind. You might get carried away and spit on the driver or on the windshield, and that would be really bad. That's not good. And it's not good because the windshield wipers are on the outside of the bus. They're not on the inside, so it could be cleaned up. Now, there's one exception to that. The Texas Aggies, their cars, they have the windshield wipers on the inside. Because when they drive, they turn on the key and they go, well, they get stuff all over the windshield and they can clean it up. But our bus is not rigged like that, so please no spitting or spewing or whatever on the windshield. And no making fun of people's accents. Now, you're going to go to some places like Boston and New York and all over in the Northeast, and you're going to hear all kinds of accents. Well, please don't make fun of those folks. They can't help it because they don't know how to talk. So you just listen and keep your remarks under your breath, or don't let them hear you anyway. And you don't have to tell them you're from Arkansas because they'll already know. And they'll know that because you don't have any shoes on. So I would ask you, please, as one who's been on these type trips before, and we're interested in our reputation, and they find out we're associated with the church, and we want to just be on our best behavior. So please wear your shoes, at least most of the time. Now, Bubba has no problem with this, and you all know who Bubba is. This doesn't bother him at all because he sleeps in his shoes. He wears his all the time, so he won't have a problem here. If they ask you where you're from, what state you're from, you can say, well, we're from the state of confusion. And that will probably be very true. They'll be observing that. I found on a recent trip that when people asked me what state I was from, I could tell them I'm from the only state mentioned in the Bible. Oh, that gets their interest. Where is that, they say? Well, it's in the Old Testament. And it says that Noah looked out of the ark and saw. And people will not forget that. When you leave them, they'll say, those are the people that think that Arkansas is mentioned in the Bible, the only state. Well, that's true. I was speaking somewhere one time, and I mentioned that same story and fact. And a long, tall Texan kind of guy walked up to me after the meeting, and he said, well, that's very interesting what you said about Arkansas. He said, now, Texas is not mentioned in the Bible, but it's implied. And I said, how's that? He said, well, you know when Herod said, give me your taxes? Well, that's the way many of them pronounce Texas, all right? But that's really a stretch. But another thing that's very important is to always number off. We've got to keep up with this group. We've got 54 people here starting out on this trip. And we want to get back with 54. My family took a little trip several weeks ago to Europe and Germany. And someone said, how was your trip? And I said, I think it was great. We We left with 15, and we got back with 15. I didn't recognize a couple of them that were in our group when we got back, but at least we had 15. And you've got 54, so you got a number off. And when you hear Bob Bray or someone who's in charge, Wanda or Bob or Winston, if they say 1, then you come in with your number and just go right down through the bus, and we can know if our seat buddy is missing or not. Now, the embarrassing thing is if you don't remember your number, and you only have to remember one number. So please work on your, if you're number 2, practice that all afternoon and tonight. When you go to sleep, I'm number 2, I'm number 2. And then next morning when we number off, you won't embarrass us by not remembering your number. So I really want this to go smooth. It's very important. Well, another rule that we need to talk about is please don't butt in when somebody else is interrupting. I think that's really important. And that's sort of in the category of why do we just have one tongue and 2 ears? Well, I think the good Lord intended for us to listen twice as much as speak. So you might think about that. Just don't butt in and cut people off. Let them say what they want to say. And that will work more smoothly. Get to know each other. This is really important because as you get to know each other, you appreciate each other. And you can open up to each other and just get people to talking. And just break the ice with your neighbor or someone you don't know. I feel real strongly about that. Recently, I've been going over to the hospital a lot and get on the elevator. And you know what people do when they get on the elevator? Well, they just clam up. Nobody says anything. Everyone stares into that floor number, you know, that you're watching across the top of the door there. And so I get in the back and I just sort of casually say, I wonder what the weight limit is on this elevator. And people will sort of look around and they'll begin to giggle and make various comments, and that opens them up. It's just really great. You have an enjoyable ride. I mean, you know, 3 seconds later you're at your floor, so time passes in a hurry when you're having fun. Or you could say, well, I wonder when this was inspected last. They usually have a date up there, you know, and people, they'll look at that. It just kind of opens them up. I found out recently how they gauge the weight limits for an elevator. This is based on 6 men and 3 women. And someone says, well, why just 3 women? Well, women are known to lie about their weight, so we have to allow for that. So it's 6 men and 3 women is how they determine the weight limit. Okay, we're getting back close to home and headed that way. And I know you've had the greatest of all trips. I could just feel that that's true. And I want to do something spiritual, so I'm going to give you a Bible quiz. You all know that when I travel with you that I'm always wanting to do spiritual things like take up collection. I think that's very necessary from time to time. Anyway, here are the questions. You might want to just take a pencil and jot these down, the answers, if you want to. I'll give them to you, though. What kind of man was Boaz before he married Ruth? He was ruthless. What do you think, Kevin? Oh. What do they call elders in Germany? German shepherds. This gets better, really. I mean, you got to be on your toes here. Who was the greatest financier in the Bible? Have you any idea?
No idea.
Noah. He was floating his stock while everyone else was in liquidation. Who was the greatest female financier in the Bible? Well, Pharaoh's daughter. She went down to the bank of the Nile and drew out a little profit. What kind of motor vehicles are in the Bible? You probably know that one. Jehovah drove Adam and Eve out of the garden in a fury. David's triumph was heard throughout the land. Also probably a Honda, because the apostles were in one accord. Who was the greatest comedian in the Bible? Samson. He brought the house down. What excuse did Adam and his give to his children as to why he no longer lived in Edom? He said, your mother ate us out of house and home. Your mother ate us out of house and home. Okay. Which servant of God was the most blatant lawbreaker in the Bible? Moses. He broke the 10 Commandments all at once. All right. What part of Palestine was especially wealthy? The area around Jordan. The banks were always overflowing. I mean, you might not know these. Everybody ought to know these things. Who is the greatest babysitter mentioned in the Bible? David. He rocked Goliath to a very deep sleep. Which Bible character had no parents? Joshua, the son of Nun. Why didn't they play cards on the ark? Because Noah was standing on the deck. Did you know it's a sin for a woman to make coffee? Yep, it's in the Bible. It says Hebrews. Hebrews. Not Shebrew, Hebrews. Okay, did you pass or fail? You might have to do a little more study when you get home. This has been a real pleasure to just chat and share some things. Bye-bye.